Hello, I'm David Chung. Exactly 10 years ago, in April of 2002, I went to Ukraine with a group of trainees with Youth with a Mission for 5 weeks of outreach. While we were serving in various places of Ukraine, the Lord spoke to my heart, David, I want to use you to saving 500,000 people from this part of the world, the former Soviet Union countries, as well as Western or former Eastern Communist bloc countries. I was going, God, no kidding. How can I lead 500,000 people to you? And I felt like the Lord was speaking to my heart, David, out of your short experience here in Ukraine, what was the greatest difficulties that the churches were going through? And I definitely saw it. The most dominant problem, if you may, was the pastors. I'm not saying that the pastors of Ukraine were evil people or lazy people, not at all. The reality was totally different. They were very faithfully committed servants of God, very heartfelt, with a heartfelt love of Jesus. They were serving God so faithfully, and yet there was no training behind, since there was no theological seminaries, no pastors' training schools. So I felt like God was speaking to my heart, David, is it possible for one pastor to reach out to 1,000 people? I said, of course, God. Some churches in Korea, where I'm from, have hundreds of thousands of people. And I felt like the Lord was speaking to my heart, David, if you could train 500 pastors that could respectively reach out to 1,000 people, build a church of 1,000, then that is 500,000 people. I nodded my head and I said, God, I'm a theology professor and I'm an evangelist, and also I planted my own church and I resigned, but I have this church planting experience. So I think I'm quite capable of training pastors. So God, if it's your will, I'm willing to take up my cross and obey your order. And I came back home after the ministry was over. A group of friends of mine invited me to dinner at their house. I went there, we had a nice meal, we shared our joy together, and I shared with them about my testimony in Ukraine and everything. And one of the leaders there handed me $30,000. And he said, David, would you start your own ministry with this money? The vision that God has implanted in your heart, would you use this money to fulfill, to make that vision into reality? Ever since we started David Chung Ministries International, and God has been using us to preach the gospel, not only in the Eastern European countries, but now in Africa and now even in Asia. Little by little, God is expanding the scope of our ministry. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for cooperating with us for the call of missions and evangelism. Would you continue to be with us, support us through your finances and through prayers. Team up with us to reach out to the places where Jesus Christ must be preached, where churches are weak, and where we need more laborers for the kingdom of God. Thank you very much.